Hi guys, welcome back to HRW2 Marine. So this new job I'm starting today, I'm quite excited about. I've been waiting a little while to do this one actually. I'm up at P&S Marine, up in Watford again. There's a narrowboat here with a bit of history behind it, I believe. And today I'm installing a water-cooled lister, an old classic one. It's got a PRM gearbox on it actually. Yeah, it's a blank canvas, it's a new prop shaft, propeller. It's going to have an aqua drive system in it as well. I'm going to cover a little video on aqua drive. I've got the thrust assembly, haven't got the midship prop shaft because this is a midship installation, so the engine's in the middle of the boat. It's going to be attached to a keel-cooled tank for cooling, although it's going to have two systems on one, which is a bit weird, but I'll go over why. So basically, yeah, I'm going to start that today. I'm not sure what we're going to get done today. I've got to build a thrust plate assembly. And that's all to do with the aqua drive thrust bearing. I'm going to do a video on this, I think, thrust assembly, and explain the advantages of having a thrust assembly and why just running an engine on engine mounts and to a gearbox and propeller is less advantageous. Anyway, I'm waffling. It's like nearly 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm not quite awake yet. Maybe I should be. Anyway, let's go and have a quick look at this engine and I'll show you what actually this is, and look at the boat as well in a minute. See you in a sec. Right, somewhere buried in the back of this container is a lister engine. It's in the dark. I'm going to have to get my phone out for some light for you, I think. Let's have a quick look. Hopefully this is going to help. It's been wrapped up here for some time, I think. That is one beautiful, beautiful build, I must admit. Look at that. Appreciate you probably can't see a huge amount right now. You will see more later. So, yeah. Let's show you the intricacies of said engine. Look at the gorgeous brass work on this thing. Oh, I love an old engine. I can't wait to hear this run. It's going to be stunning, I think. It's got a PRM, I think it's is that 260? Yeah, PRM260 D2 gearbox. I'm going to have to change the pump round so it can run the other way for the left-handed prop that I've had done for it. Look at it. Electric start on it. I think it's even got the hand crank start on it as well. Which, yes, it does. Just at the top here, there's my hand that's for hand cranking it, for posterity, and also for slipping discs or two. But there we go. What can I say? So the next exciting bit, I'm going to get this thing lifted up with the crane. I've got all my safety gear ready to go. Just getting the crane warmed up at the back there. It's just doing its thing since it's woke up. Yeah, just having a look, deciding what to do and all that sort of stuff. I've managed to get the roof unbolted and ready to go. Let's go have a look, have a wander up, see where we are. Bang my feet because it's blasting grit all over this place. So, hello mate, do you mind being on camera just briefly? Richard's painting this thrust plate. I'll go and show you the roof, it's alright. Yeah, not everyone wants to be on camera. There's some timbers there ready for this plate to come up and then be rested here. It was fitted in with these like hex drive cap heads. I'm going to change these though, so I don't want to reuse them because they're always a pain. Some of them didn't come out very well. A lot of them came out fine, but about 6 of them had to be hammered and worked. I just had a chat to Richard, whose boat is, and I think I'd like to put some stud and then some stainless dome nuts, which will look nicer. If there is a problem in the future, you can get different tools on them to undo them. So, because when these go wrong and they don't come out, they can just take more time than you really need to commit to anything. welded on a temporary lifting eye, but I'm going to actually adapt this later, put a much bigger hole in it and put a beam over, and then this is going to be actual centre line for the boat. But for now it's just tacked on. It's not the best welds in the world, but it'll do this for lifting this up and resting it on there, and I can come back and address that. But once the engine's in, this will go back on, and we can look at getting it bolted in. But yeah, the exciting bit next, the engine's going to go down in here. I don't know if you can see on camera, I've marked up the engine bearers, which are the grey bits either side, so I've estimated where it's going to be. So there's going to be plenty of room at the front and give me a bit of room at the back. And the idea was that bulkhead down the bottom there, I'm going to cut a 5-inch diameter hole in it so the coupling can be poked through, so you can keep that top edge should you want to have a door there or something. But then it's serviceable by having all the fittings inside a good distance. You haven't got to get spanners right either side, because that's always a pain. I try to be mindful of installing things so they can be done and fixed later without too much stress, but it's not always possible. I'll do my best. Anyway, enough waffling for a minute. Let's go and see what the crane's doing. Down ready. Degrees or something. You make a natural tank drive. First step with this situation is, because we've got to put a new shaft in here and propeller, and we're just working out where I'm going to put the thrust assembly. We've got a nice square space here for such a thing potentially, so we could bring the shaft in. It's a long shaft, I think it's 1.5 meters long, that's what I asked for, so if I need to cut it down I can do. I could put the thrust assembly here or here, then have the intermediate shaft up to the engine gearbox. Having it slightly shorter would potentially be better in some ways. As I say, why is that doing that? I think the battery's going flat. Yeah, so I think today I'm going to just take this apart. It's been blanked off because it's been in the water, and that was keeping the water out, and there was a little bit of leather and stuff in the end. So I'm going to get this out, give it a clean out, put some grease down there, and then slide the shaft up and then start eyeballing everything in. Yeah, just have a think. Today's just a bit more thinking and planning, and once I've got my head into the game I can start making stuff. So enough waffling for me, so let's do something. Right. So now I just want to pull the key out of the keyway on the shaft, just because it won't clear the greater diameter. Always a bit of a challenge getting these out somehow. There we go. That was not hard. Right, change your gloves because this is going to be greasy. Let's get some. These are great, these orange gloves. They're really thick. Do the engineer dance now, my hands are sweaty. Powder gloves do not work for me. Looks good. Fine. I'll give it one more little rod out, just to make sure we've got all the bits of grit and anything else might be down there. Let that precede the shot, I suppose. That's nice. Yep, I like that. Very good. That's the end. Right. Interesting. We may have to just go with it there. Right, let's cut slide over the cut. So yeah, I haven't put the key in yet or nut on. I don't really need to do that just yet. It's only going to pull it up a tiny bit anyway. But I was trying to leave a couple of inches roughly. I'll get a rule in there to be precise. But yeah, so this now gives me my reference point inside with the shaft, because I'm going to have to cut that back a little bit. Unfortunately, the base has been concreted in, which is a nice way of doing it. But I can't. I'm not going to start jackhammering out concrete. Right. Let's just give it a little bit of WD just to ease it in. Just to, it's so shiny there. There we go. That's bottomed out, so that's just resting at the moment, so no harm done anywhere. It's a shame it's not just a bit longer, it could have gone there, but no, well, that's how it goes. But we've got this nice bit of plate here which is welded to the hull, so what I'll do is I'll have to cut this shaft back, bring this forward, or back, because it's the other way around, bring a plate up to mount this, and then we're good to go. blade's gone too short. Can't get in the middle. Still a good blade, but it just won't reach in there. See if a new one will make up the difference. It's not much, but it should just reach. If not, I've got a hacksaw blade. Just a little tiny bit left to go. Dink. That's not a bad cut. Jump there, that's okay because that's the bit we cut off. Let's have a look at what I've cut. Oh, I'm quite pleased with that, freehand. I'll just give the edge a chamfer and I'll just clean this into the end up because there's a little bit there. Pretend to be a lathe. Let's go and get. Just use a engineer's file. Okay, I'm not trying to win an Olympic medal or anything, but that's nice and crisp actually. Where's my, I haven't got a rule with me, but that's the straight edge of the file, as you can see. I'm quite happy with that. Well, as you can see, they've got a little bit of a issue there, but I'll sort that in a minute. But it looks to me like a wasp's nest, the way the pattern I've gone for. Just the way they kind of excrete their makings. I have strange things go into my head sometimes. But anyway, here we go. So now that's done. Now I can run some welds on this outer edge. And then we know that we've got welds all the way round, right through, and that this is going into the plate and it's not just in the circuit. I think what I'm going to do is just come in at these angles and just chamfer them, just cut out any slag that's down the side. There's a bit of slag down in there. Right, so just down in this gap here is a little bit of rubbish. I'll chamfer that out now, and I'll have a go at sorting out that as well. This side too, and the plate's done, and then I'm going to go and cut this bigger on the machine, clean it all up. I'm tempted to drill some rivet holes just so it in keeping with the style of boat. I mean, they won't be real, but shh, don't tell anybody. So either so I'm clumsy, very clumsy, mate.